The following is a transcript of a letter I wrote this week to God. Dear God, thank you for 2016. So far, it has been an incredible year. However, I have noticed the rash of fantastic musicians that you have taken home rather quickly. Paul Kantner from Jefferson Airplane, Glenn Frey of the Eagles, the multi-talented David Bowie, and the King of Kings himself, Lemmy. We ask that you either stop taking all these fantastic musicians, or I'd like to go on record and negotiate a trade. You give us Paul Kantner, Glenn Frey, David Bowie, and Lemmy back, and we will be glad to give you Justin Bieber, Florida Georgia Line, Luke Bryan, and Kanye West. Thank you for being a loving and caring God, and thank you, God, for listening to the Loki and Jabroni Show. We love you. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Welcome to this fantastic Saturday. Unfortunately, we were not here last week because of a New England blizzard. I am Loki.
I am Jabroni.
And as always, this is the Loki and Jabroni Show. We are happily bringing it to you. The final episode in the very, very famous at this point Palatial Studios.
Yes, indeed. It's our last ride here. And
so if you guys have had the chance to see it on the video, the space is going to be gone, and we're moving on to a new one, named to be withheld for right now. We'll let you guys know when we record the next episode in the spot, so you'll find out then.
That'll be a week from today. I like it.
But this is the last episode in the Palatial Studios, so a farewell to a great place that has taken care of us and has allowed us to bring you some fantastic episodes. I mean, that's,
We were talking about it the other day, how much I'm actually going to miss this spot. It's like the little home away from home type deal, and it's been fun here. It really has. But, onward and upward, man. That's what we keep talking about, onward and upward.
Yes, exactly.
The new spot, I've seen the new spot. It looks amazing. I'm sure next Saturday when I walk in for the very first time as a studio, it's going to be even better. I'm just thrilled. I'm absolutely excited. But I'm sad to leave here and, all the things that go with it. Stopping at Maple Shade Convenience right down the street on the way here every freaking Saturday. The lady knows me by name now.
Yeah, I know. It's, little things like that, you definitely, that you do end up missing.
There are certain things, though, I'm not going to miss.
I hear it.
No need to go into detail.
So like we said, last week we were really trying to bring you guys, it's fucked up. But unfortunately, it dumped on us incredibly fast. It wasn't like a whole lot. I think I ended up getting like 7 or 8 inches.
Yeah, there was like 8 inches up Norwich Way where I am.
And actually I got out there I would say about like 7 o'clock at night, and I pushed like about 6 of that in because it dropped, like I said, fast. And then the rest of the night it kind of like flurried off. But it was enough to close a lot of shit. Like I didn't even actually end up working that night either. So it was.
And the funny thing is, if you look back and if you have on your Facebook gimmick there that 1 year ago today or 2 years ago today, it was last year, that very weekend, we had the 3-foot snowstorm.
Right.
And there's pictures of me out there with the snow blower and just covered in white flaky bullshit doing my thing. And then here we are 1 year to the week later, and it's the same snowstorm, but in a smaller scale.
Well, and not only that, but we also didn't have, obviously, the Loki and Jabroni show going on.
Correct.
So it was different.
Still in its infancy at the time.
Yeah, we're coming on the year anniversary here soon. We do have some pretty good surprises, including working as it may. So we are hoping probably before our year anniversary, we'll have the official Loki and Jabroni website where you are going to be able to go on there, listen to all of our archived episodes, which we are going to throw up on there, and you're going to be able to just listen to your little heart's content. There's going to be blogs leading on from episodes that, like the conspiracy, where we obviously could have went on for 3 more hours. You know what I'm saying? Spot where guests are going to be able to pop on there and finish up their thoughts if they were. You know what I'm saying? A way for you guys can communicate with us better. And as always, there's going to be links and all kinds of fun stuff there. It's just going to be something that you guys are going to be able to get more involved and more engaged with the show itself.
And the Facebook page is still going to exist. I don't want anybody to think that's getting shut down.
No, it's not.
That was the jump-off point to have the website. But it's going to be more interactive. The website is certainly better than having just the Facebook.
The Facebook page, unfortunately, the way they're doing it now is if you want any type of publicity, you need to pay for it. So it's like, I completely understand. I mean, Facebook has been running free for a long time, and a lot of businesses have actually taken advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? And why not? It's free publicity. It's free, free advertising and free setups for, people to find your business, comment on your business, and just boom. I mean, you're always on Facebook anyway, so you look up your favorite business or you look up your favorite page and you drop your comments, you drop your pictures, you drop your ideas. I mean, it's just easy. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you have a website ready to go, obviously in your favorite histories, it's just going to be just as easy.
One click away.
Right. Like I said, we're going to be able to, keep the Facebook page. We want to, but we really want to direct you guys to this website, and you'll see why. There's going to be all kinds of fun things there, and we're excited about it.
The only thing missing right now, and I don't think he's going to build it, by the way, in case you missed it, we talked about it before, our fantastic returning and recurring guest, I get those mixed up all the time, Eddie Focus, is actually helping us build the website. And the one thing I wanted was a pin the tail on Focus, but he said no.
Give me some time. Man.
He vetoed that right away.
It's all right. I'll be able to fuck around with something.
Well, this is the part where I say thank you for downloading this week's episode, and we especially thank you if you have subscribed to the show, because by subscribing to the show, each and every episode is automatically sent to whatever device you use to listen to us on. No fuss, no muss, no hassles. Always log on to iTunes and search for the show and leave that 5-star review. It helps us move up the charts, and it allows us to bring you more quality on-demand entertainment to jump into your eardrums and do a little kooky dance for you each and every week. Also, we just mentioned the Facebook page. Go like it. That's where you get the latest updates for now. Pictures for now. Video blogs for now. And everything else until this website is built. That's your conduit to the world of Loki and Jabroni. What's on your mind this week, buddy?
That was fantastic, man. We hear it every week.
I know.
You don't ever get the applause.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Once again, credit goes to Eddie Focus. He and I said, "Well, we really need a speech." Well, I went out and wrote a speech.
No, I do. And like I said, we were able to. We really been kind of grinding our gears. You know what grinds my gears? We've been.
Tell me, Peter.
We've been working really hard on this show. We've been trying to work it out so y'all can have a spectacular show.
Somehow you went from Peter Griffin to Donnie Wahlberg there.
I know.
Donnie
Wahlberg's more like, one of them.
Yeah, you went Providence and Southie all in once. I get it. It's cool. Look at this.
So, obviously, before we get into today's show, just a quick little mention. Y'all know at this point that it is the Carolina Panthers and the Broncos, so I don't think anybody picked a winning team. So
no, I did go back through, and there was no picks of the Broncos or the Panthers. I thought we had one Panthers. I was mistaken.
Right. So, unfortunately, nobody won that free NFL jersey. Congratulations to everybody who actually, or thank you to all the people that had, did join. I mean,
folks that came the closest was Kevin Boucher, who picked the Cardinals, and Andrew.
That was
Kohler.
A heartbreaker, man.
That was
like, I don't know, man.
I don't know. At the half, it was a heartbreaker. At the end, that was an ass whooping of epic proportion.
No, I don't know. Carson Palmer just he choked in so many ways. That's all you can say.
He looked frozen out there.
He looked scared.
And not Elsa
scared.
Frozen. He just looked like a deer in headlights.
No, it was. I mean, they ate him up. The freaking Carolina just ate him up. I think every kid in that stadium got a football.
Oh yeah, because Cam was on fire.
Oh my! It was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. So, like I said, Nice try.
If you're a Broncos fan, if you're a Panthers fan, I congratulate you. If you are one of the 200,000 jackasses who suddenly have come out of the woodwork and proclaimed your love for the Carolina Panthers, I don't congratulate you at all. I think you're ridiculously retarded. These are the people in their adulthood now who are the same people, if you remember from like junior high school and sometimes high school, every time a new team moved up. And I remember
new starter jacket.
The first one I remember was the 85 Bears. And I remember the days leading up to the Super Bowl, seeing all these kids who used to run around in Steelers gear or Cowboys gear or Dolphins gear. All of a sudden, they were in the blue and orange. Well, I thought you were a Dolphins fan. No, man, Dolphins are old news, man. I'm a Bears fan. You know who they're rooting for the next year? The fucking Redskins. You know why? Because they went to the show.
Yep.
This kind of stuff is retarded. Like who you like, man. And you know, if you take garbage, I take garbage all the time, man. My team can't win if you spotted them 40 points. But love them.
Well, maybe.
Sometimes.
I was going to say, I think a couple times.
Unless they were playing Carolina this year. I mean, we got that one. I call it the luck win, but that was a real hard-fought victory. We are the one in 15-1. I'll remind you of that now.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Paul Heyman, for that line. But seriously, folks, there was it the Facebook page, Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
200,000
in less than
likes.
24 hours.
Yes.
In less than 24 hours. Another shock, sales actually went down on Super Bowl tickets. A lot of people did not end up going through and getting their Super Bowl tickets after the Patriots lost.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a shock. Because, look, again, we'll go back to the world of social media.
But it was a drastic number.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was a good amount of number where they said that the sales dropped because the Patriots did not.
Let's go back to social media for a minute. And in the weeks leading up to the Patriots' loss against Denver, all you saw was people. Oh, man, I want to see the Patriots lose. They're always in it. They're the Yankees of 20 years ago. They're the Red Sox of 10 years ago. They're always in the hunt. Obviously, they're the Patriots of now. I think they've missed one playoff since 2000.
I think it's maybe one or two. I thought it was maybe two, but you're talking like 15 years. Mm-hmm. In 15 years,
that's quite a run. You don't see that in
and
football
not only
very
that,
often.
out of those 15 years, I want to say 12 of them were obviously. I think 12 of them were the AFC. What are they? They're East, right? AFC, the AFC East championships. At least 12 of them out of 15.
Yeah, straight.
Easy. And then
the Dolphins came in, did it 1 year.
And then they were, 8 times AFC champions out of 15 years?
4 times Super Bowl champion.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't argue the success.
No.
But I understand the need for people. They want to see something new, something exciting, something fresh. You don't want to see the same team every freaking year go to the finals.
Well, you got something fresh. You got something new.
Exactly.
I mean,
the sales should go through the roof.
You know what, to be honest with you, I mean, unfortunately, kind of buys back into the whole NFL stage crap, you know. But the storyline that's going on right now, obviously, you know, Peyton Manning. He wins, he's done. You know what I'm saying? And regardless, if he doesn't win, he's done.
He's going to go out like that long-toothed, big-faced sewer rat son of a bitch John Elway did in 1990. I'm still angry at you, you motherfucker. I'm still angry at you. I had every time they mentioned John Elway during that game, my rant came out, and I got looked at by the immortal. She goes, "It's been 17 years. Let it go." I'm not going to let it go. John Elway ruined my dream, you cocksucker.
John Elway ruined a lot of people's dreams.
Look, I had said it before. They may play in my division, but I dig what Carolina's doing. They're young. They're hungry. They're animals out there. And if I have to pick a winner, I'm going with Carolina right now. 35-21, and Cam Newton's your MVP. That's my choice.
35-21?
35-21.
I think it's going to be probably about 38, if not 40. Carolina, definitely. The only thing, that defense, man. If that defense can contain him, that score is not going to be high. I'm going to tell you right now.
Here's what I brought to you. We were out. I said,
and they were vicious against Tom Brady. They were vicious against fucking Gronk.
You have a story of 2 really great defenses in Denver and Carolina. You have a story of a really good offense in Denver with Peyton Manning. And by the way, all the Manning haters and all the Brady haters, you guys need to realize they're only a year apart in age. So all the Peyton guys who are saying Brady's too old, all the Brady guys that are saying Peyton's too old, do your freaking homework.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, if you don't have the facts right, I mean, if Mike looked at me and said, "Oh, dude, you're a fucking geezer," I'd be like, "Dude, you're 2 years behind me, man. Chill."
Easy.
Exactly. But you have a story of a really good, superior offense in Denver, and on the other side, you have a fantastic, explosive offense in Carolina. That's going to be the story of the game, is the two offenses. Who can make it happen faster? Because those defenses are going to cancel each other out.
Yes. Well, the thing is, with Manning, he's not a scrambler. He's never going to be a scrambler. He's going to be, and what is that, the other guy, Osterberger, whatever the fuck his name is? The one that's...
I knew his name until you just started to beat it down.
He's actually...
I'm looking it up now.
If Manning goes down, they don't have... I think their offense actually opens up a little bit more because of the way that kid can move.
Because Brock is more mobile.
Exactly. So, I ask you this.
Go ahead.
The defense coming down pretty much to games.
Osweiler. Brock Osweiler.
Osterberger.
Yeah.
So, the defense coming down, if you can contain Cam Newton, you take a big part of his game away. Look what every team against Russell Wilson did. And as a matter of fact, the loss that you gave them, same thing. Mm-hmm. You contained him. You made him...
You know what? I'll go back to that game. It wasn't so much that we contained Newton. We took his weapons away.
If he's got but that's just a point. But you also,
4 weeks,
even if you're covering his guys, his legs are still dangerous. His mobility is still dangerous.
But he can't win that game on his own. He's got to have those weapons. And somewhere between the 41-0 drubbing we took, and then 3 weeks later where we come in and beat them, Atlanta, by the way, folks, in case you haven't been paying attention for 43 weeks, they came in, they took all his weapons away. They sheared up the middle so Stewart couldn't run. They took all the wideouts out of the picture.
Oh, absolutely.
The only one that got any play really was the tight end and Cam Newton. That's it. And you saw that they did score. It was a very close game. Mm-hmm. But when you take away his deep weapons and all he's got is his tight end and running, but that defensive line of Atlanta that week was just on it.
But you still have to contain him, is my point. You can take away all those weapons, and if you take away all those weapons and you drop back into a man, dude, he's going to break it open. Mm-hmm. And that's my point, is you guys also did a contain. You turned around and you held him back, you know.
But the free safeties weren't out roaming. They were playing in. So when he took off, they could cut him off.
Right, exactly.
So that 25-yard run becomes a 12-yard
QB
run.
Spy.
Yeah. I loved it. I think this is a great matchup for the Super Bowl. The haters can hate all they want. There's going to be hate every year.
Oh, every team, dude. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I was getting hate from my team after we lost. Mm-hmm. They're like, ha ha, and I'm like, Speaking
of which, before I get into my quick little what's on my mind thing, did you see all those angry tweets pointed at Steven Gostkowski, the kicker for the Patriots?
So weak.
They are wishing hate on him. They are wishing rape on his wife. They are wishing death to his kids because he missed a kick. Guys, if you're a Patriots fan and you threw
or
hate,
Vikings fan, because I'll tell you what.
I would honestly say there was not as much hate.
No, there wasn't. But there was still some bullshit said, to Walsh. The same thing. These guys do a job just like you. Imagine if you went into your job. Let's just take a simple job like McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that you're a teller, and your final job through that drive-through is to pretty much make sure that all the food's in the bag, right? Mm-hmm. That's it. Just like a kicker. All you gotta do is walk in there and kick the ball through the fucking uprights. Well, you missed a thing of fries. Now imagine if this person comes flying in with that fucking car, throws the bag at your face and says, I hope you get raped by a fucking chicken, you piece of garbage, and just blows you up because you forgot your fries. Like, dude, this is exactly what you guys are doing right now.
This guy was money for the Patriots all year.
Dude, all year? He hasn't missed since 2007.
When he was in college.
2007. An extra point, dude. He had 523
and
extra
you will hear,
points. 523 extra points.
You will hear Patriots fans say, Steven Gostkowski cost us that game. Wrong. Interceptions cost you that game. Bad penalties cost you that game.
I even hate hearing that because you
Steven
almost
Gostkowski
fucking won.
Not. Exactly.
You know what cost you the game?
3 seconds left to go, and you have
conversion.
A chance. Exactly.
That's what cost you the game.
And your golden boy Gronk is wide open in the end zone for that 2-point conversion.
What do you want from him, though? But exactly, he brought them down 40 yards, right? And then he catches that amazing catch in the end zone to get the touchdown. What do you
keep in mind? This was in a matter of what, a minute and 23.
Oh, yeah, it was
less than that.
I think it was less than that. It's like a minute 12 or something like that. And they just took it right down. It was, but that's what I'm saying.
It was mechanical. It was like it was meant to be.
To sit there and say that it's one person's fault. No, it's the same thing with Walsh. Yes, he missed the game winner. Yes. But if you would have scored that one touchdown when we were in the end zone, we wouldn't even be worried about that fucking field goal. Mm-hmm. That's the point, people. When it comes down to it, you want the bottom line, you want the ugly truth, get the 2-point conversion, you would have been fine.
It's one of our favorite words ever. If you look at this game, here comes that big word, our favorite. Objectively, Gostkowski doesn't lose you that game. The bad turnovers cost you that game. When you are
Don't take it away from that defense.
When you are
that
running
defense
Steven
held
Jackson.
A very explosive yet injured Patriots offense. And that Patriots offense in itself can be very deadly. And especially, like we've said time and time again, there's these certain quote unquote elite teams that when they go into the playoffs,
it's automatic. It's mechanical for them.
They become better. They become more dangerous. They become, like you said, it's just boom, boom, boom. It's so fluid.
It's almost as if that's their house, and
exactly.
they know it.
Exactly.
Guys, if you're running Steven Jackson, who isn't the runner he was in Atlanta, and he wasn't that good there, and when he was in Atlanta, he wasn't the runner he was in St. Louis, where he was lights out.
Oh, he was
when you are running Steven Jackson over and over again, and his biggest carry of the day was for 5 yards, stop running Steven Jackson. When you blow 3 downs on trying to get this man up the middle and get you yardage, and he's not doing it, sit the man down.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Get a fullback in there. Fuck it, man.
If you're over and over and over again throwing to Gronkowski to the point where he's triple covered, don't throw to Gronkowski anymore. Edelman's out there standing with his thumb in his mouth waiting for a throw. You have Danny Amendola, who is excellent if you just give him the chance. The Patriots offense lost that game. Not the kicker, not the defense. Get over it.
But regardless, it was a close game. It wasn't like it was a blowout.
It was worthy of being a championship game.
There was nothing to be upset about besides a loss. And that's exactly what I said with my team, with the Vikings losing. You know what? It was a very tight game. It was an exciting game. The end result sucked.
If you go down fighting, hell, look at the 99 game between Falcons and Vikings. It come down to an overtime kick by us. That's worthy of a championship game. It's close and it's competitive.
Heart pumping.
I feel terrible for Cardinal fans because, guys,
you got your asses
at the half
whooped.
you knew you were done, and if you didn't know you were done,
asses whooped, dude. No, there's no candy coat in that.
There isn't.
You didn't show up.
If you didn't know by the half that you were not going to the Super Bowl unless you bought tickets, I'm sorry, guys. That's the way it is.
Well, dude. There's no candy coat. You didn't show up. You got your ass whooped. But regardless, congratulations to the Carolina Panthers. Congratulations to the Denver freaking Broncos, or what we call the Denver Flair. Woo! I love that fucking horse, dude. That shit is awesome.
Badass.
He got the Ric Flair hair.
I like the mullet. We'll have to share that with everybody. The 32 teams remade into WWE Superstars logos.
Yeah.
I like the New England Cenas. And the Atlanta Ortons. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, the Atlanta Orton was cool. Mine was just looked
I got 4
terrible.
quick ones. I'm going to go
Looked like a small
quick.
helmet on Lesnar's head. I was like, what the fuck is that, dude?
Last week I was supposed to talk about this, and obviously we didn't record. When we had our 100th like on the Facebook page, it belonged to a gentleman named Steve Prevey in Barrie, Vermont.
Okay.
Well, he just celebrated his Dirty 30 last week.
Nice.
His friends, for him, went out and made him a giant penis cake. I love it. I think it's hilarious. Cake? You know, there's no confirmation or denial that he ate the head first and then went down the shaft, or did he cradle the nuts first and work his way forward?
Let us know. Like, inspiring minds.
Steve, if you're listening, drop us a little note, man. Did your phone go off?
I think
so. My Lord. You know what that means, kids. Heals your beer.
I do.
Also, 2 days ago, happy birthday to my father, Robert Burns. 66 years old. I've talked about him a few times, maybe not exactly glowingly, but he's still my dad. He taught me a lot, and I'm glad to have him as a dad. 66 years old, there he is. He's the grandfather to little jabroni sitting over here playing with her headphones. She can't hear a damn thing we're saying, I hope. Also, happy birthday to Megan Lynch. If that name sounds familiar, it's because it's former guest Chris Lynch's wife. So if you get a chance, go to the page. Leave a little happy birthday message for Steve Prevey, a little happy birthday message for Daddy Jabroni, and a happy birthday for Megan Lynch, because I'm sure Chris Lynch is out there spending copious amounts of money to make his wife happy today on her birthday. So happy birthday,
Copious.
Megan. Copious, I like that. And I want to dedicate today's show to two people who passed away this week. One is Jacqueline Gardner. That is the immortal beloved's grandmother. Really nice lady. She passed away at 83 years old.
Oh, sorry.
Just real good. Just a real good-hearted lady. And 2 days ago, on her 43rd birthday, my cousin Carolyn passed away. Very sudden illness. Didn't see it coming. I talk to her once a month, and the last time I spoke with her was a couple days after Christmas. In fact, we were here recording. Mm-hmm. She called. I went upstairs afterwards and took a quick phone call and whatever. Sounded full of life and piss and vinegar. I got text messages from her last week, and she was, again, full of life, piss and vinegar on her 43rd birthday. That was the end of the line for her. So I'm dedicating today's show to those two. It seems like today is a day of farewells. Not only farewell to the studio, farewell to Jacqueline Gardner, farewell to my cousin Carolyn. And going into our topic today, we had a lot of farewells. So, again, two great people, unfortunately no longer with us. Instead of mourning their loss, remember their life.
Yeah,
so,
that's key.
Just
that's
remember
key.
the good times, guys, and, keep the memory alive, because once you lose that, they truly, really are gone.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do you want to go now?
So we did, like you said in the beginning, we lost what we consider pioneers
mm-hmm.
of their element, of everything that they represent. Like we said before, David Bowie was.
He's the groundbreaker of all groundbreakers.
His images, his charisma,
the changing of images,
everything.
Reinventing yourself every time out.
He was like a goddamn chameleon of
mm-hmm.
fucking music. You know, that boy was always fucking changing it. I mean, if you don't have him, you don't have. I mean, even some of the flamboyant, say, rap stars, rock stars. You don't have the Twisted Sisters. You don't have
Culture
things
Club.
like that. There you go, big one. Culture. You don't have shit like that.
I would venture to say that Lady Gaga has taken more than one page out of the David Bowie book.
Oh, I would say. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she's taken a couple outfits. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She's probably been to a couple things that we haven't even seen yet that's very Bowie-esque.
When you walk through that whole thing, from the cross-dressing to the spaceman from Mars, Ziggy Stardust type thing, all the way down to the buttoned-up suit and tie guy.
And listen to the music that goes with that, too,
man.
because he does. With his changes, his music also changes.
You know, I wasn't the hugest Bowie fan. It took a long time, I should say, to have an appreciation for the early stuff. I loved the later stuff. I love that Black Star record that he's got out now. It took a long time for me to appreciate the stuff that went on, the 20th Century Boy or Changes, things like that. Those were fantastic, earth-moving, groundbreaking records. And you can't take that away. He signaled and started a movement that still to this day goes on.
Right.
And the music world is a sadder place without him. Would somebody be able to say that 30 years from now about a Justin Bieber or a Florida Georgia Line?
Right now, God, no. I mean,
30 years from now.
I will say this. As much as I hate the little tick turd, and as much as his home antics when he does shit outside of his, spitting on fans, running his Lamborghini like 60 miles in a residential area. You know what I'm saying? Just asinine, stupid things like that. We understand that you're a kid, but you also got to understand that there's this thing called responsibility. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. I read this little thing. It was only your family, and it was like, one of these things that sometimes people think about. Mm-hmm. And it was only your family and a very close few people that you really, really trust care about you. The rest of the world doesn't give two shits about you. They really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might come across somebody that, an experience brings you together, whatever. But for the most part, they don't give a shit about you. They don't care what you did 2 days ago. They don't care that,
If your leg falls off, you're on your own.
Right, exactly.
You're dying.
If you're a celebrity, you are in the image and in the thoughts of a lot of fucking people. So you need to reflect that. That being said, the kid does have a talent. I forget what is that fucking the kids are listening to it all the fucking time. There's a new one that he's got. I think it's Sorry or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
But his voice in that, I got to give it to him. He actually, is singing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he actually can sing.
He's not just being the petty white boy rapper.
If he grows up and somebody mentors him, you could maybe say that about him 30 years from now.
And at 21 years old, right now, he's got a large amount of time in front of him where if someone took the time and the effort, like you said, to mentor him, to show him the right ways and the wrong ways, instead of, I'm a celebrity, I make a lot of money, I can do whatever the hell I want.
And that's
they get you real dead real quick, kid.
That's where he's going to be. And unfortunately, no, we're not going to be able to talk
Kurt
about
Cobain, motherfucker.
Yeah. Eagles. Dude.
Glenn Frey.
You can't even replace that.
No.
You can, and that was one of the things I brought up at work when we were talking about this. He wrote, God, I want to say like what, 70%?
Easily. Between him and Joe Walsh and
right,
Don
right,
Henley.
But no, exactly.
Those are your main writers.
Don Henley, you know, he did a lot of, I think it was more of the riffs and shit like that. I mean, he did but lyrically, you're talking, this guy wrote, I want to go out on a limb and say easily 75%. Easily.
I wouldn't challenge that.
And Joe Walsh is, you know, the back. He was obviously, because when he went on his own, you could tell the writing was there. You
knew the kind of songs when they went solo.
Yes.
Which ones were the Glenn Frey ones? Which ones were the Henleys? Which ones were Joe Walsh?
Exactly.
Anything that was riffy was Walsh. Anything that was bluesy belonged to Henley, but the stuff with the heart and the soul of rock and roll belonged to Glenn Frey.
Oh my God, dude. And we've talked about bands losing members and being able to kind of fill in the blanks, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes with a lead singer, it doesn't work. And sometimes something like this, there is no replacement.
When you're a band like the Eagles that are 45 years in, I believe.
And let's not forget, he was the main reason they even got on the Hell Freezes Over tour. He
put it together.
He put it back together. He contacted each and every one of them and said, let's fucking do this. We're stupid. We're one of the best fucking known rock bands in the fucking world.
Not just known, they were loved.
Exactly. So if we come back when we said not until Hell Freezes Over and we make the Hell Froze Over tour, and that CD, dude, did you ever get that CD?
The acoustic concert?
Yes. The fucking thing was this thick. I think it was 2 discs, and you had all this extra content and all this other stuff. Hotel California is eerie. Eerie, and Desperado is fantastic.
During that Hotel California acoustic, when they're playing that, it was almost like a flamenco guitar interlude.
Yes.
And then
that's what I'm saying, that eerie feel, man.
That brush drum comes in, and they start with the Hotel California riff, and the place just explodes.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
That, to me, that's the Eagles. That's knowing that you have an iconic song and a fantastic history behind you. And then the stuff they made going forward, the new material, just as fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. They were the package, and unfortunately,
but you're right. I look at your point that you just made. There are bands, whether they're together 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, that lose a member. Twisted Sister lost their drummer, who was with them the entire stretch run for 30-some years. They're doing a farewell tour. They have a replacement. And
I'm not going to be mean, but you probably aren't going to notice it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because he, as much as you need the rhythm, he wasn't, say, a Tommy Lee. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a Phil Collins. What he was back there was a good drummer. He wasn't a fucking fantastic drummer. No. He was a good drummer. So things like that you can lose.
When you have AC/DC loses Bon Scott, they go to Brian Johnson. Metallica loses Cliff Burton, goes right to Jason Newsted. There are parts to a band that are just as important, cogs in the wheel,
exactly.
And they're not smaller
and a
wheels.
good point on the AC/DC. A good point on the AC/DC. Because I'll tell you what, when they lost frickin' Bon Scott, they thought it was over. There was no way we're going to find another person like this. And this guy was out just doing this fucking performance. They picked him up and boom. Next thing you know, you have a better.
They were huge. They became bigger.
Exactly.
With Brian Johnson.
I agree.
And that's not a slight to Bon Scott.
No, it's not.
But that's just the way it is.
And that's exactly the point. You know, when you do lose these small things and they can get replaced, we're not saying.
And the names we just gave you are iconic bands. This isn't like the Cop from the Village People dying and they just go out and get another Cop.
Yes.
You know, the Village People are interchangeable. They're Menudo, but from that particular section of New York. These are names, David Bowie, Glenn Frey, that we're speaking on now, obviously. You can't replace a Glenn Frey.
No.
And as much as my favorite band likes to say that'll go on forever, you can't replace a Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons. If you are Iron Maiden.
No, absolutely.
If you're Iron Maiden, you tried it once, you found out it wasn't
Eric
right.
Dickerson.
You're never going to get rid of Bruce Dickinson. If he dies, Iron Maiden dies with him. We're going to talk about Lemmy coming up, and they said it the day after he died. It's obvious that Motorhead's not going to go on because you cannot, there's certain people you cannot replace. And I don't care if you've been, that Motorhead lineup was 25 years running for a band that's been around for 40 years. Once any component of that band is gone, there's no moving on.
Right, exactly.
Led Zeppelin, pure example. When they lost John Bonham in 1980, they didn't go on. It took 20-some years to even get Plant and Page on the same stage. Now they have Page, Plant, and Jones. And who do they got playing drums when they do gigs? Jason Bonham, John Bonham's son.
Yes.
But it's not the same. They're doing it to give you your warm bath of nostalgia. They're not out making new music. They're not continuing as a band.
And let's be honest, they're out there fattening their pockets too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, without question. But they don't have to. That's a band where the records are always
right.
sell.
Right.
They
but
can sit back and suck their own thumb.
I'm saying normally when you do like one of these tours, like when you do lose, say a component that you can easily replace, you're doing one of two things. You're showing the fans that you can have this band carry on without that. And on top of it, you're trying to cash in a little bit from, like you said, the nostalgia. The fact that that member is gone and they are carrying on says something. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do to to throw a tribute to them? What are they going to do for this, that, and the other thing? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, there are some bands that can do that and be tasteful. And then there are some bands that can do it and not be so tasteful.
And there's a lot of bands that I like who have lost members and carried on, and they find someone who is equally as good, if not better. I brought up Metallica. They lose Cliff Burton. Jason Newsted steps in. Once again, they are bigger. They move on to be bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
Kiss is a prime example. Peter Criss leaves. They get Eric Carr, phenomenal drummer. Buries Peter Criss as far as ability and style and workmanship. He made Kiss heavier. He dies in 1991. They go out and get Eric Singer. Then what happens? They start to climb up a little bit more. They had that 80s lull. That wasn't Eric Carr's fault. They had the high and the low in the 80s. They get Eric Singer. They start to surge forward. They reunite with the original band. There's problems. Who's sitting in that cat makeup now? Eric Singer. And he's a better drummer than the guy he replaced.
Exactly.
And I'm an Eric Carr guy till the day I die, but Eric Singer is a better drummer than Eric Carr.
And like you said, some things can be replaced, and sometimes when they are replaced, it works out better.
Randy fucking Rhoads.
Yes.
If Randy Rhoads lives, I dare say we don't hear the name Zakk Wylde.
Yeah.
But that was a 6-year turnaround.
Right. We'll hear Zakk Wylde somewhere, but he definitely would not.
He wouldn't be Zakk Wylde in capital letters.
Right,
He'd
exactly.
be Zakk Wylde maybe now in capital letters, not in 1989.
Oh, God, no. Then that was...
You can move on, and you can sometimes replace a departed member who has gone on to the afterlife with somebody better. You're not going to do that with Glenn Frey.
Exactly, and I was going to say that, and that is what's going on with the list of everybody that's on this right now. Is when you take these people away, you are taking away a very important part of their genre. For example, David Bowie was always that pop music. You know, he was always the top 40s. He was always up in there, and regardless what you wanted to think about him, he was doing hits. He was making fucking hits, dude. Yep. And that's what he did. And his thing, he owned it. With the Madonnas and with all these other people out there,
of course.
He
Good call
still
on Madonna.
shined.
Good call
you know what
on
I'm saying?
Madonna. Because she was definitely a student of the Bowie school. I asked Nathan Hunt, and I asked Josh this a couple weeks ago, and I know you heard the interview, and I'll ask you now. Is there anybody out there, not so much to replace them in the bands that they've come out of and passed away, like a Bowie, like a Glenn Frey, like a Paul Kantner, like a Lemmy? Do you see anybody now that has the potential to move up to that spot?
You know what's funny is I'm going to answer I used to think it was Steven Tyler. I used to. And let me tell you what changed my mind. His Facebook page. I actually liked it. I would have to say probably about like 3-4 months ago, right?
Okay.
He is, how can I say, he doesn't even know the words to his own songs. Mm-hmm. Like, he fucks up the words to his own songs like all the fucking time. Like, He really doesn't have the voice he used to have.
No.
Much like Mark Slaughter said, where he took care of his voice, you can tell that Steven Tyler has not taken care of his voice.
And if he has, he did it a little too late.
Right, exactly. And it's definitely...
I went and saw Aerosmith.
And this country thing that he's doing right now...
Oh, God, that song is terrible.
Everything, dude. He's done a couple of them.
I heard... I'm trying to remember the name of the song. I heard Red, White, and You.
Yeah. Oh, that one's...
ridiculous.
Dude, it
Put a gun in your mouth,
and he's got this stupid little stashy thing going. Dude, no. Like I said, I used to think because of everything he's been through and everything that band has been through and everything that you think about it, they've been through a lot.
Drugs,
they've won a lot.
Death,
exactly.
Breakups, makeups, divorces, everything.
And I dare say that in that band, pretty much you lose anybody from there. And I think Aerosmith's done. They are collectively.
They tried to go on in the mid '80s. And they had Rick Dufay, and I can't remember the other guy, replacing Joe Perry and somebody else.
You can't.
They went on, but it wasn't the same.
You can't replace
They come back
Joe
together.
Perry.
They did Done with Mirrors. They did the Run DMC song, and then Permanent Vacation just exploded. Dude looks like a lady, ragdoll. They tried it once. It's like Iron Maiden. They tried it once. You figured out this shit isn't going to work.
Right.
This is
us, and the only way that this works is with us. You know what I'm saying?
5 guys.
Exactly. But to answer your question now, I would have to say there is not anybody ready to do it now. There are a few of them out there that I feel if they keep up with their craft, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Beck.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
If he even got like half of the recognition that guy really deserves, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, what's going to end up happening is, he's going to go on or pass on and half the world is going to be, wow, this is a fucking tragedy.
And they're finally going to...
And the other half is going to be like, who's that? And then they're going to listen to his fucking music and it's going to, you know what I'm saying?
It reminds me of when Dime died.
Yes.
You had a very large, a metal band doesn't go to number one. They went to number one. Mm-hmm. I mean, they beat out, what was hot at the time in '94, Ace of Base and things like that. Madonna had a record out, and who sneaks in?
They had pretty much Metallica do that pop flop thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So when you lose Dime, there's a large population that, like me, mourned and was just like, wow, there's never going to be a guy like this again.
And then people turned around, they said, well, what are you guys mourning all about?
Yep. Go find out. Go listen to Far Beyond Driven. Go listen to Cowboys from Hell. Go listen to the Damage Plan CD that they did after Pantera. And you have this generation of people coming up now who now know what he meant. Mm-hmm. Same with John Lennon. I know that 3/4 of the free world knew John Lennon, but it's the ones that didn't who discover his music after the fact.
Everything is said and done.
That's
right.
impact.
And unfortunately, like I said, that's going to be back,
And that goes back to Tupac and Biggie too.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, Tupac. I'm gonna probably make a few people, pissed off. Let's be honest, man.
Close your ears, Ed.
Yeah, Big Papa. He's notorious. I'm sorry, dude. You're garbage. Your lyrics are subpar.
Yeah, but he was fun.
He was fun.
I think
he was fun. Absolutely.
You can be hard
lyrically.
And be fun at the same time.
Let's be honest. Tupac blew him out of the fucking water.
Correct.
I mean, for them to sit there and say, "Oh, Tupac, Biggie," I hate that. They weren't even in the same category. The only reason why they put them together was because he fucked his wife. Mm-hmm. That's it, dude.
And they were buddies before.
Exactly. Let's be honest with you. It all came down because your wife. All right? Serious. Sorry. Biggie, he was a fucking way better rapper than you. Everything that he stood for. He was a goddamn poet. Mm-hmm. You weren't, dude. All you did was sit around and fucking get crocked and then fucking put lyrics together. It's funny, though, because somebody actually said, and I like this statement, the problem with rap today is if you go back and say the 90s and stuff like that, all these guys were drug dealers. Mm-hmm. The rappers today are all drug users. Exactly. So put it together, man. Do it simply. You know what I'm saying? Future, sorry, dude, you're garbage. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Big Sean, maybe I'll give you a little something, something. At least your lyrics are original. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot. What was that? That little crook, little gangster, whatever.
No idea.
Dude, garbage. They're garbage, dude. And they go out there and they're like, ah, they're all crunked up, dude. You could tell they're
Everything's
fucked up.
auto-tuned.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And people that we've lost. These pioneers, these people that didn't have anybody underneath them to carry on their craft. And I am going to call it a craft because it was exactly that.
Sure.
They were masters of what they did. They were masters of their fucking craft. And unfortunately, they didn't have anybody underneath them that's going to carry on that mantle.
Next on the list, and this just happened 2 days ago, was Paul Kantner from Jefferson Airplane. When you go back, Jefferson Airplane was wildly different than anything that was going on in the 60s at that time.
Dude, it was wildly different in the 80s when I heard them on my freaking mom's freaking 8-track. You know what I'm saying? I was like, holy, because not only were they musically different, their fucking album covers were off the wall, man. I remember going through some of these things and being like, what the...
See, I grew up, my mom liked a lot of different stuff. And she dug the 50s and 60s music a lot. So I was exposed to Don't You Want Somebody to Love? Or what was the one? They were mimicking the Alice in Wonderland. One pill makes you smaller. One pill makes you tall. Oh, go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall. I was exposed to that. And I loved it. It was different. It wasn't, no offense to you Beatle fans, but the first X amount of years of the Beatles' existence, all that hold my hand garbage.
Let's
Jefferson
not,
Airplane buried you.
Let's not forget what the Beatles were.
At the time?
They were the very first boy band. I mean, really, they exploded for a reason because mechanically they worked, look-wise they worked, harmony.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they weren't great singers, anybody can pretty much... hold on.
You get enough good voices, you can get one great voice.
Right, exactly. And that's my point. Let me say, everybody, if you get 4 people together to sing one Beatles song, they will sound great. Even if one of them's an absolute turd at singing.
If you have 4 good voices, you can make one great voice.
And that's exactly what the Beatles were. I like them. I love them. A lot of their music, I mean, that's John Lennon. That is just John Lennon. But he still was a Beatle. He still came from there. You know what I'm saying? Much like, what's his name? Justin Timberlake.
Sure.
He was part of NSYNC, you know what I'm saying? But when he branched off, he didn't really stutter and fall.
No, but you got to see the depth that I was never a big JT fan until I saw Alpha Dog. And that's as anything.
I hated him in NSYNC. I ain't gonna lie. I hated all those fucking boy bands. But as soon as he went by himself and he had that first single, was that
Cry Me a River?
Yeah, maybe it was. I don't think it was Cry Me. It was something before that. Okay. But even then, even Cry Me a River, all these songs that he came out with, you know, you were like, holy, that's Justin Timberlake? What?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
I like this.
Exactly. But, you know, there you go. There's your answer.
You see him expand.
There's your answer right there.
JT.
JT in 30 years.
I'm writing it down right now.
There you go.
30 years.
It took me a while to get there.
Okay, no, and that's fantastic. I want to go back to the Jefferson Airplane bit. Going back, being familiar with the songs. I went to a Wasp show. Yes, I said
Oh my
that.
God, yeah.
In 98 on the KFD.
When they were actually big for, I think it was 7 months?
Oh, this was already past when they were big for 7 months.
All right.
They were doing.
I'd say for like 7 months, they were the shit, dude. Everybody was fucking Wasp T-shirts everywhere. I was like, what the fuck?
When I first saw Wasp, they were opening for Kiss.
Yeah.
When I saw Wasp as a headliner, they were playing the Webster Theater in Hartford. I saw them on the KFD tour in about 98, 99. They opened with Somebody to Love, Jefferson Airplane. And they made it it was awesome. That shows.
These songs, the thing about Jefferson Airplane is their music is so iconic. You can be anywhere, and that song will come on, and you'll start singing it. You might not even know who it is.
But you know.
You might not even know the title of the song.
But you sing it.
It's much like Buffalo Stars. I can't even fucking.
Buffalo Springfield.
Thank you very much. Blah, blah, blah.
This is why I'm the Ayatollah of rock and roll, the kids.
But, for what it's worth, that's the name of that fucking song. You know what I'm saying? Ask anybody, You know
But
what
if you
that
hear
song
the
is?
song, oh,
As
that's a
soon
song
as
from
that
Forrest
fucking
Gump.
riff goes off, you're singing it. You know what it is. And that, my friends, is what Jefferson Airplane was.
Timeless and iconic.
They were just that. Exactly. Iconic. They were iconic.
And the whole band, I mean, this is another one of those bands, Jefferson Airplane, that everybody contributed. You had Grace Slick doing lyrics, Paul Kantner writing music, people bringing in arrangements. It was a team effort. Unfortunately, Ego split them apart for many years. They come back together.
Ego does that for a lot of people, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? You think
that's
about
the people in your ear
think
telling
about
you,
fucking Boston.
You're the superstar of this band.
Right. Think about Boston.
The band or the town?
The band.
Oh,
we
my
lost.
Lord.
We lost a fucking phenomenal singer.
Tommy Scholes.
Phenomenal. But how many years did their ego keep
and
them
Brad
apart?
Dope. I'm sorry, they lost two singers.
Yeah,
Scholes
exactly.
And Dope.
How long did their egos keep them apart from actually making? You know what I'm saying? They were on
10
a tear.
years coming out of the 70s. They get back together in the 80s. They have another huge record.
Exactly.
Ego tore them apart again.
Exactly.
Then they come back in the late 90s, and they toured until their deaths. And now you have guys like Michael Sweet from Stryper fronting the band. Sounds just the same. But it's not.
It does, but that's my point. Like, the music with them died. All they're doing is pretty much...
It's the nostalgia. It's that nostalgia again.
Yes.
Which, let's be honest, if you go see Journey, yeah, it's a great little gimmick to have that Filipino kid up there singing. He sounds just like Steve Perry. The new records don't sell.
No.
People don't know those songs when they play, hey, we're going to play our new hit.
And you know what?
And nobody
wants to.
No.
Nobody wants to know the new songs.
Look, I've seen Kiss 43 times. And when I go to a Kiss show, I want some of the old stuff broken out. Throw me one or two new ones. Hey, this is from our new record. Go pick it up. Great. Now get to War Machine.
Right.
Now
exactly,
get to Dr. Love. Get to Love Gun.
With this guy right here, if you take that little Filipino guy and you throw him in another band besides Journey, and he starts writing these songs and he starts singing it, then you notice
Then
him.
you buy it.
Exactly. Because it's Journey and because you know that this band is not whole. This is not the Journey that used to sing back in the day. This is not Lights. This is not Don't Stop Believing. This is not
lose the
Faithfully.
Perry out of it.
Exactly. This is not Journey.
We could point to Mark Slaughter, who's been on the show, and you listen to Reflections in a Rearview Mirror, and you feel that stick it to you.
You feel Slaughter.
Wildlife.
You feel him because he was a part of that music from day one.
It's different, but it's the same.
Right, exactly. But his music stayed with him. And it's the same thing with Journey. When you work with all these guys for so long and you become your sound becomes your image.
When Steve Perry went solo, I could have sworn those were Journey songs.
I agree. I thought that they were still actually with him, but they just lost the Journey title because half of them decided to lose the egos. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you can't, and that's one of those things, just like Aerosmith. If they separate, it's you say to yourself, why? You sound exactly the same. Just get back together again and use your fucking name. And that's exactly what it is.
I don't have to like the people I work with. I just have to work with
You
them.
don't have to. And that's one of the biggest things that fucking people forget about. When you go to work, it is not your job to make friends.
If your job is the guitarist in Aerosmith, like Joe Perry, your job is to go out there and entertain people.
Right.
Go do it. If your job is driving the number 4 Budweiser Chevrolet, you don't have to like the guy pumping your gas in that 14-second pit stop. You just have to go out and do your job. If your job is welding, you don't have to like the guy you're working with. Just get out there and do your damn job. And if you put yourself out there, and if your brand brands don't have to be McDonald's, kids, and brands don't have to be Coca-Cola. Aerosmith is a brand. Kiss is a brand. Jefferson Airplane is a brand. Motorhead's a brand. Get out there and do your job.
Your nickname is your brand. That is your image. That
We're
is
living
exactly
proof, man.
exactly.
We're living
and
proof.
that's exactly what it all breaks down to. It's essentially, if
Your name
you
is
make,
your biggest brand.
If you make friends while you're doing your job, hey, all the better. But the bottom line is you're getting paid to do something. And a lot of people lose that. Like fuck it. If I leave,
it's the ego.
They're gonna miss me. No, they probably won't, guy. I really hate to break your heart. They'll replace you.
Let's go to a guy who I don't think had an egotistical bone in his body. And he was the leadoff of all these deaths, and unfortunately, it was like 2 days before the New Year.
Yeah.
I'm still going to.
And let's not forget. Like we're not forgetting all the other ones. You know, all the actors that we also because we lost some great actors as well. We are reflecting just on the music aspect because of our love for music, and because, like I said, we felt that these guys were pioneers. We're
losing one iconic since the last days of December. We've lost one iconic musician per week.
You know what? It feels like a technical hit. Like, you know how, like, when you're on the battlefield, right? You target main things, generals, lieutenants.
High value targets.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it feels like we lost. We lost some prime targets, some generals on the field of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't replace these guys.
If music were Iraq, we've lost all of Saddam Hussein. Only because I watched a documentary last night when I got home. Bad thing to do. Don't watch documentaries when you've been out drinking with Loki. I'm throwing it out there. I watched a few. But no, you're absolutely right. These weren't the tentacles of the octopus. These are the heads of the octopus.
Exactly.
And a guy with no ego, any written statement or watching the memorial or reading his book a few years ago, Lemmy had zero ego. He just wanted to get out there and do his thing and do it his way. The beginning of each show was, we are Motorhead, beginning and end, we are Motorhead, and we play rock and roll. He didn't get out there and ramble for 13 minutes about politics.
Or he
didn't tell you who to vote for.
He didn't go out there by himself for 20 minutes and do a fucking guitar riff by himself, slam it on the ground, walk off, and then the band comes out. You know, it wasn't about him.
I thought we weren't talking about Vinnie Vincent today.
It wasn't about him. It was about the music. It was about the fucking fans.
To hear, we have our Wednesday night meetings, to hear Eddie look me dead in my eye and say that losing Lemmy was like taking the heart out of heavy metal.
Yeah.
It meant a lot to me, and if you knew Eddie at all, you know he's from a house music, R&B, hip-hop background. To hear him say
I've always killed him with rock, though. Don't let him...
You and Rob, I know. He's told me the stories. He's told me the stories.
Don't let him kid you. He's been corrupted by some of this music.
I sent him a Pantera link one time. He goes, you don't have to do this. Rob and Mike took care of it years ago. All right, I wasn't there. I'm sorry. Here's a guy, and I think you said it months ago, when we were talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Lemmy's passing. Without Lemmy, there is no Hetfield. There's no Dave Mustaine. There's no Lars Ulrich. There's no certain members of Slayer.
There's no David Grohl, dude. There is no...
Dave Grohl worshiped the ground Lemmy walked on.
Exactly. There is nobody... It's... When you're an artist, somebody gets you to become an artist. You don't just say, wake up one day and you're like, dude, I feel like playing guitar. No, somebody played guitar so awesome, it hit you. It hit your soul. And you said to yourself, I'm going to be like that guy.
Oh, absolutely.
You inspire to be like that. So every single day you go and you go and you go, you eventually make your own sound, and then boom, that's how you create it. David Grohl, same thing. Loved fucking Lemmy, loved his image. Hell, he sat back while he sat there and let his friend pretty much take the front line of Nirvana. And then after that, he opened up his own Foo Fighters and was one hell of a front man.
I think, in my opinion, Foo Fighters is 10 times the band Nirvana was.
Absolutely.
I think Dave Grohl is 10 times the musician that Cobain was. But again, timing is everything, and Nirvana hit at the right time.
What?
They were
what?
great. Don't get me wrong. Nirvana was great. Foo Fighters is better.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that. You know what it is about Cobain, though? He's tragic.
Oh, yeah.
From the minute you saw those bangs over the fucking microphone and him singing, you knew he was tragic.
There was
pain
involved.
Exactly. And that was a huge seller.
That's 20 some years ago, and people are still talking about him. He did something right.
Let me, real quick, before you go back to this, 30 years ago, the Challenger.
Oh, yeah, 30 years ago, my dad's birthday, the 28th.
Isn't that, break that down, 30 years ago, man. I was 11 years old when that happened.
I was watching the little video that ABC News put up on the internet.
School stopped that day.
Yeah.
School stopped.
Oh, we were sent home. I remember being in the lunchroom at Kelly Middle School, then Kelly Junior High, and having the science teacher walk in. We were all going to go back. They were recording the shuttle thing. We'd go to lunch, and we'd come back. We're going to watch the first teacher in space. And I'm sitting near the door, and he walks in. He says to another teacher, they're calling school. Challenger just exploded, and we can't do this. superintendent said this, that, and the other, and I'm catching some of this. And just the astonishment, the look on his face, that for our generation, that was our first 9/11.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Non-terrorist attack, obviously. But
that's that moment you'll never forget where you were when it happened. I have things like that have happened in my life, and I've run off a few of them. But Challenger, 9/11, the murder of Dimebag Darrell, when they found Saddam Hussein in that rat hole. When I watched that documentary last night, I remember sitting on my couch in Jewett City, watching something on TV. The news breaks in, and they announced they got Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
I remember where I was. It's vivid. I can still smell the room.
Exactly. There's certain things that hit you so hard that you do remember shit like that.
I was in a car when they announced on the radio Cobain passed away. Route 32 in Norwich, passing then Antonino Nissan Jeep, which is now a Tractor Supply company.
Yeah. And this is comparison to that, in my opinion. Lemmy is... I mean, as Focus said, that is the heart of rock and roll.
The heart of heavy metal and rock and roll, and with punk elements too. Everything
that flared off of rock and roll. Let's just say you got hard rock, heavy rock. Bottom line is the word rock is in it. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So it is rock and roll. There's no doubt about it. I don't care if you call it acid rock, punk rock, whatever the fuck it is. It's rock. It came from rock and roll. I want to say, listen, I like Elvis. I believe Elvis is a pinnacle. However, Lemmy is bigger. Lemmy is the king of rock and roll.
I won't argue with that. I really won't. As much as I love Elvis, you're right. Lemmy really did.
The thing is, Elvis created rock. Elvis took, rock was always here. Elvis put it on the map to a point where people were like, what is this? What is this? What is this thing going on here? You know what I'm saying? People took it and went from there. Like I said earlier, when you do see somebody that catches your eye and you want to aspire to be like them, you do. You create your own image. You're not them because you can't carbon copy them. Otherwise, what's the point? No one's going to pay attention to you. But you take elements from them and you carry on.
When we talked about Bowie, we talked about reinvention. I'm going to play a 30-second clip. This was the original nationally known band that Lemmy was in called Hawkwind. And when you hear it, you'll hear him singing. You won't. If I didn't tell you right now he was singing, you'd ask me who the singer was. This is reinvention. This is from Hawkwind. This was Silver Machine. And when he starts singing, you are absolutely going to fall on the floor because it doesn't sound like the Lemmy that we're used to.
Right.
Now, does that sound like the Lemmy that we all grew up on and know and love?
It actually sounds like a very mellow Ozzy.
Yeah.
It sounds like a very mellow Ozzy.
Exactly. Now, you take that, and I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play another clip, but everybody and their mom has heard Ace of Spades, folks. And you hear the guy singing Ace of Spades. And
it's like a throaty, like
he woke up, gargled with razor blades, and ate gravel for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
And it showed in his music, but you know what? It was reinvention.
Right.
Go from this late 60s, early 70s psychedelic band. You know what? And if you watch the video, I'll post it on our page. They took a page out of the Jefferson Airplane book.
Oh, that.
If you watch this video, the way the band does their thing.
Yes.
Again.
Back in the, when they did shit like that, a lot of this trickery was also to help with the live shows.
Sure.
Because let's be honest, those guys were fucking geeked off their minds when they went to these, not just the band, but the people in the fucking crowd,
and that's a lot of the reason that Kiss got over, Motley Crue got over, Poison got over.
Right.
Jefferson
And
Airplane.
that's what I try to explain to a lot of people
the
when
Beatles.
Beatles,
they're all in their suits, they're standing, they're smiling, love me do. That's a gimmick.
Yes.
And it got over, and the people ate it up.
Right.
You're absolutely right. Great point by you.
But back to Lemmy, you can't put a measure of what he's impacted. You can't even you can't even put in your hand to show a statistic because you would never know who he's touched. One little thing.
Because when you think you get to the end of the list, there's going to be 10 more people that pop out.
Come up and say, you know what, that guy, and they might even say it, that guy from Motorhead, really made me think of my game.
People who you never would think would give a nod to Lemmy in the week following his death, leading up to his memorial, Gene Simmons, Alice Cooper. There was, I can't remember his name. There was a country artist.
Even Justin Timberlake.
I can see him now. You got people. David Allan Coe.
Yes.
David Allan Coe came out and wrote a little memorial to Lemmy. A freaking country guy.
Yeah.
I owe a lot to Lemmy. Wow. I would have never saw that coming.
You don't, because that's just it, man. You don't. It's not just about the music. It's about him. And like you said, he was a giving person. He was an unselfish person. Dude, you don't know. Maybe they're at a country rock festival, something going on, and Lemmy just happens to come by and sees Cole in the back thing. They have a chat. Maybe Cole's having a fucking issue. Maybe he's gotten problems with his fucking wife at home.
Maybe they're drinking a Lemmy.
Right, exactly. Maybe they're fucking just bonding. But that experience makes him write a song, or that experience brings out a better version of him. So he turns around and says, I have a lot to owe to Lemmy. It could be something that's
whatever the case is. He didn't say it. He just said, I owe a lot to Lemmy.
Exactly. And see, you won't ever know, because some people, they keep stuff like that to themselves. They keep the charities and the information and the respect that they have for that person to themselves for that reason.
I just know that, again, this goes back to remembering where you were. It was late in the evening, sitting at the Immortal Beloved's house.
I was shocked, dude.
We were watching a movie. Movie gets over.
I thought it was one of those stupid ass, click things.
I've seen about 40 of them this week. Listen, guys, Leslie Nielsen died a couple years ago.
Oh my God. I want to slap people,
Jean
man.
Stapleton, she died a few years ago. And you know what? Gilligan's been dead for a while. Stop posting this shit. Do your fucking homework.
Another tragic loss. When will it end?
And every time one of those comes up, I look at it, I'm like, that's not right. I know Leslie Nielsen died a couple years ago.
Oh my God,
I go to my little Wikipedia, and there it is, and I go back to the original post, and I'm not picking on these people, and I'm not shitting on them, but I'll always type in the month and the year it happened. Oh, rest in peace, Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, November 2010.
Yeah, nice try, dude. That
rest
was like
in peace, Gene Stapleton. November 2013. Come on, guys. Do your homework.
I miss John Candy.
Yeah. October 1994. Oh my God,
Are you sure we didn't just lose him?
Kurt Cobain died last year. No, he didn't, jackass. Do your fucking homework.
Oh, my God, man.
And you're right. There's a lot of people, whether they come out and say it or they keep it to themselves. I'm certainly not keeping it to myself. After watching that movie, The Immortal went to the bathroom, flipped on my Facebook real quick, and the first thing that popped up said, Lemmy Kilmister dies at age 70. I didn't believe it. I've seen enough internet hoax.
Yeah.
Immediately,
I did the same thing, dude.
I went to Motorhead's Facebook page, and there it was. We are sad to announce the passing of our leader, Lemmy Kilmister. And then I went to Ozzy's page, because him and Ozzy were wicked tight.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Ozzy's page. Just lost my best friend, Lemmy Kill. I'm like, oh, my God, this is real. She comes walking back, and I'm like, holy shit. What? She doesn't know a lot of Motorhead. She just knows I love the shit out of Motorhead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Lemmy died. And her face dropped. She goes, you've got to be kidding me. Like, no, it's right here, man. I remember where I was and what I was doing.
That's one. He's like I said. He is that. He's that important to rock and roll. Mm-hmm. He is that important to rock and roll. And unfortunately, it's a blow that rock and roll can't take right now. We can't, man.
I would venture to say, and I don't know how many are left, but if there's anyone from the Ramones out there right now, they owe a lot to Lemmy.
God.
Henry Rollins wrote a very touching piece, and Henry Rollins is in my opinion, he's the king of everything. He's just the man. And Henry Rollins has said, I owe a lot to Lemmy.
Dude, like I said, the list could probably go on and on. You will never see the end of it, dude. I'm telling you, you will never see it because people just get him.
And especially while it's still fresh. And I say that as we are a month past Lemmy's death, but it's going to go on. It's going to go on for months and even years. There might be 2 years from now, you're just scrolling through your little Facebook and there's an article, so-and-so talks about how Lemmy influenced him. Mm-hmm. I still see articles like that about Dimebag. I still see articles like that about John Lennon. I still see articles like that and documentaries about Kurt Cobain in the same vein.
Yeah.
This is what I owe to Kurt Cobain or Dimebag or John Bonham.
Reinvention, just
Bon
like
Scott.
we said earlier. It's taking what you were and becoming something better. And there's, like you said, you just played 30 seconds of a Lemmy that nobody would fucking know.
Unless you were into it, like I was introduced to that by a gentleman named John Brisson years ago because I had heard of Hawkwind. I had never heard Hawkwind. I heard that song. I was like, wow, this is badass. But then again, it's not the Lemmy that I love, but it's where Lemmy came from.
Right.
He was also in a blues band back in the day. He was a roadie for Hendrix.
That's cool.
Hendrix gave him his first acid trip. Not that I think I should be proud to announce that, but come on.
Oh, that boy who Hendrix, I think sober was a drug for him.
Yeah. When they talked about the last days of his life, he said he had cut his alcohol intake down, didn't quit. He went from smoking 4 packs a day to about a pack and a half every 2 days.
But you know what?
He switched from brown alcohol, which is full of sugar, to clear vodka just so he could keep drinking.
Yeah.
Lemmy lived on Lemmy's rules.
Exactly.
And if everybody could live life the way they want to and not just be influenced by, oh, I think that's bad, Mike, you shouldn't do that. Well, fuck what you think.
Right.
Live life your way.
Exactly.
You know, I may not live like Lemmy, but I rarely give a shit unless it's absolutely killing me.
Right.
Somebody says, oh, Chris, you know, wearing your hat every day is bad. Well, fuck you. It's my head. I'm going to wear a hat.
That's part of my image, man.
Amen. And it's not even an image. It's comfort.
Yeah.
You know, Lemmy wasn't a pose. Lemmy was Lemmy. Wearing cowboy boots and a thick leather jacket and a cowboy hat on a hot summer day in L.A. wasn't something he did so you would notice him. That's who he was.
Right. That's what he did. That's how he reflected himself.
Sitting at the Rainbow on that little poker gimmick machine at the end of the bar, and people would go over and just talk to him, and there's stories on end about regular people. Just, excuse me, Lemmy, I don't want to bother you. I would love to say hi and buy you a drink and have a picture. And he would say, let me finish my game. And he finishes his little poker game, and he'd spend 25 minutes with these people when all they wanted was a picture and an autograph.
Yep.
It wasn't a pose. A pose is when you walk around the streets dressed like fucking Bret Michaels of Poison back in 86. A pose is when you wear the stage clothes of Rat to high school. That's a pose.
A pose is the makeup that Motley Crue wore in their first
album.
Exactly.
But you see Motley now, that's not a pose. That's they're dressing the way they dress in daily life.
Exactly.
To watch, I'm trying to remember his name. Fuck. Damn it. When I was working at the casino. Not Joey. It was Charlie Benante and Frank Bello from Anthrax. I had seen them a few weeks earlier when the original band got together and doing the reunion tour. I'm walking through Mohegan Sun in my suit and tie, hair all gelled up. I'm not looking rock and roll. That's my uniform. That's not a pose. It's my uniform. And I'm watching these two guys turn and look and stare at me, and I'm looking back and staring at them, but I'm staring at them because, holy shit, it's Frank Bello and Charlie Benante. Mm-hmm. And I walked over. I thought maybe they needed help. They see the name tag. They see the suit. And I said, gentlemen, is there anything I can do for you? And Frank looks up and says, you look real familiar. I'm like, yeah, I met you 3 weeks ago at the Webster Theater in Hartford on the reunion tour. He goes, you're the guy in the dime bag shirt, aren't you? I'm like, that's me. He hits Charlie and goes, told you it was the fucking dime bag guy. And we shot the shit for 15 minutes, and they're just regular dudes. Yeah. But it was. I owe that to them, man. When you get recognized in a suit, no less, by two guys you just met 3 weeks earlier, that's what rock and roll is, man. It's a family. But it wasn't a pose. You know how they were dressed? The same way they wore on stage. Blue jeans, black T-shirts. I think Charlie had a hat turned backwards, and he was just sitting reading the newspaper. That's not a pose, man. If you go out there and you have to glam yourself up, that's a pose. What Kiss does, no offense, love Kiss, that's a pose.
Yes.
Body armor and makeup, it's a gimmick, it's a pose. But when you see,
but it sells for them.
But when you
if
see
somebody
Paul
else
Stanley
did
walking,
it,
and that's the difference. When you see Paul Stanley walking out of
he's
Starbucks,
not wearing that shit.
No, he's in a regular T-shirt and jeans and a wife beater and whatever.
Yeah, well. Paul Stanley, maybe it's a little bit more than that. Maybe it's
might be a little fruit.
I was going to say maybe the jeans are a little tighter. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that T-shirt's a little tighter. You know,
we've had our fair share on Paul Stanley.
We have seen some pictures of him that you're like, dude, what are you doing?
But back in the 80s and into the 90s, it's a pose.
No, absolutely.
I would see people on a daily basis dressed the way they dress every day. A couple of days later, you see them going to the mall or to someplace, and they have the whole Kurt Cobain outfit going on. I'm like, dude, you're a poser.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah, please stop. Like,
I wear boots.
Wait, are you going to follow through and shoot yourself too?
Right. I wear boots. I wear black T-shirts. I wear baseball caps. I'm not. It's not a pose for me. I mean, Christ, I think I'm wearing a Motorhead T-shirt. No, I'm wearing a Kiss T-shirt.
There you go.
Now.
See?
Sorry, I had to lift up the sweatshirt. This is how I am every day of my life. So if you see me out all rock and rolled out, A little bit, yeah, maybe it's a pose, but you dress for the occasion.
Oh, that's your image. That's
Sure.
what you do.
It's who I am.
Yeah.
Image, see, I argue that. Image is what other people see. This is who I am.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also consider it your image because you choose how you want to dress yourself. You choose how you particularly want to look.
So I'll take image over pose, absolutely.
Right, absolutely. A pose is when you are taking an image just to make people see you.
If I showed up tonight at your karaoke gig, by the way, if you're in the Norwich area, come down to Tokyo Sushi, come see Loki and Jabroni, and say happy birthday to our good friend Mark, who turned 109 this week.
Yeah. He's known Moses. He's known Jesus.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he has less hair than both of them. But if I showed up tonight dressed like Garth Brooks, that's a fucking pose.
Yes. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, you come in there with country. You come in there with fucking... No, exactly. And that's the difference. That is, people like Lemmy and Bret Michaels made the cowboy hat a rock image. Even Steven Hyler has brought that, that in there. So... You can't, to say a cowboy hat, no, it is, yes, technically, but there are certain people that took that, and there are very strong rock legends that took that and made it their own.
Sure.
However, you come waltzing in with the snakeskin leather cowboy boots, those tight-ass Wrangler fucking jeans, and a vest fucking match with that cowboy hat, yes, then
Garth
you are.
Brooks was always famous for the multicolored.
Yes, the plaid fucking shirts there.
Yeah, now if I did that, that's a pose.
Absolutely.
If I walked in tonight wearing boots, torn up jeans, a Motorhead t-shirt, and a cowboy hat, that's me.
We're like, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Chris.
You come in with the other shit. What the fuck are you wearing?
That's a pose. Exactly. It just sucks. And in 2016, we were all talking about it Wednesday, and we've said it before, we'll say it again. It's just been terrible. And it's almost as if you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because we had Lemmy, then we had Bowie, then we had Glenn Frey. They say it comes in threes. I wasn't expecting Paul Kantner 3 days ago.
No, I wasn't either.
I am now, when I read that, and that was Thursday, the next thing that I thought was, who's going to be next week? Who are we going to be mourning next week? Is 2016 going to be the year the music dies?
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like. And it could be anybody. If it were JT. If it were, and I'm just going to start throwing names random because these are names that I like and love, and some of them are very iconic. Is it going to be Gene Simmons?
Yeah.
Is it going to be LL Cool J? Is it going to be Ice Cube? I'm very afraid of 2016 for music right now.
Well, let's hope they're done with it. Let's hope that let's hope you've taken enough people to last you for a couple fucking years.
You're hoping
right?
January is a blip on the radar rather than what's actually going to be.
I really, because like I said, losing Lemmy right now is something that rock and roll could not afford. And I'm telling you, because just like every other genre of music right now, it is very, very shallow. The well has run very dry. They need to start replenishing this with some real good fucking music.
When the buzz, and I'm saying buzz because it's a nice little keyword and it's an internet friendly word. When the buzz is heavier for a band like Anthrax, who next month is going to drop their new disc For All Kings, when the buzz is heavier for a band like Anthrax than it is for Nickelback, who is a big band right now, who absolutely sucks. I hate them, but if you like them, I can't account for your taste. I said it last night to your karaoke crowd. Hey, you a fan of Nickelback? Yeah! Go out in the parking lot and shoot yourself. They're the IHOP of rock and roll. But they're one of the biggest bands of the rock genre right now. The buzz is bigger for the new Anthrax album than it is for the new Nickelback.
And that's good. That's how it should be.
It is good, but you should have that foundation of bands now where you're excited for the new big, oh, Christ, who was hitting years ago? Disturbed.
Oh, yeah.
Was huge 10, 15 years ago. They're putting out a new record. Have you heard about it?
No.
No, not until I told you.
Right.
That's a problem.
Right, exactly.
You're more excited.
Well, that's not them. That's that's not them
state
particular.
Of rock and roll right now.
Right, exactly. And it is. It's sad. And like I said, we couldn't have afforded to lose who we lost already. And, it sucks that we did.
I have yet to buy the new CD, Bad Magic. I am avoiding it. I don't. There's a part of me that doesn't want to hear it because that's the last time I'll hear fresh new Motorhead music. I'm avoiding that record like the plague. It's been out for 2 months. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
There's a finality.
I've heard a couple songs, and I gotta admit, like it doesn't feel right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Well, it's
feel
like
right.
listening to Black Star, the Bowie record. It was basically a goodbye to his fans. He knew he was dying.
Exactly.
And it's tough to listen to that because once that disc ends, that's the end.
That's
of
the end
fresh
of the era.
music.
Right, exactly. That's the end of the era right there, man.
There's nothing worse than the end.
So we do have to give our shout-outs to these guys because, like I said, they were everything to music and their genre of music. Like, you can't take these people away. You can't replace them. They're
4 distinct personalities, 4 different ends of the spectrum, all meaningful, all iconic, all timeless. I'm going to point right over here to my left, and you guys can't see her, and you guys can't hear her, and she probably can't hear me either. She's too busy with her gimmick phone. My 7-year-old, 8 years old next month, absolutely loves Hotel California. She's 7.
Mm-hmm.
That song is 4 times her age, if not more. I think that was a late 70s, early 80s record, Hotel California.
I think it was late 70s, man.
Okay, so it might be 5 times her age.
Right.
She loves it. That's timeless. That's iconic. But if I put on something like Poison, it doesn't mean anything to her.
No.
She knows.
Poison didn't have anything meaningful.
I agree with
They have fun. Yes. They have fun songs. They have fun songs that you like to sing.
It's nostalgic, but
even then, you want to leave halfway through the fucking concert. Let's be honest. I mean, it's not like seeing Motorhead live now. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing something amazing. It's not like seeing a David Bowie show live, when you had the chance. You're seeing something you are guaranteed never to see again. You go and you see Poison, and it's the same thing.
Without question.
You just saw it with Rat. You just saw it with Winger.
You
just saw it with Cinderella.
Since they're reuniting in 2000, I've gone to see Poison 4 times, and you're exactly right. I could map the show out based on the first show I saw.
Exactly.
It's the same songs. It's the same set list. It's the same stage rap. If you can't be fresh, get the fuck out.
Do us a favor.
Let somebody else take that stage.
Exactly.
Who's going to do something.
Give
that stage to Nate Hunt and Shaman's Harvest.
Thank you very much, because that brings me right into my top 10 list.
Oh, right. Well, see, you didn't tell me.
And that was perfect, because that's exactly the point that I'm making with my top 10 list.
Well, I got to get the little gimmick machine out. Guys, we hope you had a great run down memory lane with us.
So before you hit the song, though, I do want to say, leading to the give the guy this shot, get the fuck out of the game. The game. Once again,
oh my God,
rears his ugly, fat-nosed head into the Royal Rumble, sneaks away with the title, making him a 14-time WWE champion.
All right. I had to say something.
Congratulations, Triple H. Again.
I'm not going to say F you, Triple H. I'm not going to say anything.
I can't, because his career is amazing.
Another one, iconic. You're never going to have another one like him.
However.
And he's a Lemmy fan, so
right,
I give him
exactly.
a pass.
However, dude, please step off.
Of those 30 guys that were in that ring that night.
Dude, AJ Styles.
I know. It was
AJ's in the
debut.
fucking ring.
My boy.
On, dude.
Jericho's
you are
there.
so selfish.
Roman, and I'm not a big Roman Reigns fan. If he would have run that table, you'd have had a 50-50 split. Like we watched the Rumble last year. People were booing the snot out of him, but they learned how to book him. If you had Roman run the table and win that thing, you just built yourself the future. If you'd had one of the surprises like AJ Styles walk away with that championship.
Just win it, right.
You have, oh my God, in his debut.
What just happened?
Yeah, I didn't see this coming. I watched the Royal Rumble on a illegal feed 2 days later. It wasn't through the network. It was through, I can't say, but you know who you are out there who gave me the link. I watched it, and knowing the outcome because you had texted me, I was like, maybe I can see, maybe it was a surprise. No. What did he come out, number 28? It was a gimme.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, dude.
It was a gimme.
It was terrible. It was terrible. He did the same thing to Sting. He brought him in to raise his image of this badass boss who can destroy fucking legends. So, in lieu of that...
before you go on, there were easily 7 names I could have brought to the table. I only brought 3, Roman, Jericho, and AJ Styles. There were 7 different ways you could. Dean Ambrose.
Are you kidding me? Dude, you could have done anything But what you fucking
You
did.
could have put the title on the chick that does the ring announcing, and
You
it would
could
have
have
been
given
a
it
surprise.
to fucking Cesaro.
Why not?
And been like, holy shit, where are you going with this?
Like,
Come on,
This
dude.
I didn't expect. That's what the Rumble used to be. I didn't see that coming. And now it's, well, somebody's going to win.
14 times.
Yep, and then they're going to go to WrestleMania, and then they're going to fight the champ, or this guy is the champ.
Exactly.
Now, how are they
And now, once again, here's Triple H in the fucking stage of WrestleMania.
Dude, I think you have a great career. If you're ever listening to this, or I ever try to pimp guests from you, because you are the guy in charge, you had a great career. You are iconic. You are never going to be
No one's going
forgotten.
to take that away from you, man. You created
But you're
one of the greatest tag teams in the world.
You are
DX is
47 years old in a young man's business. And granted, you can
let
be
these young men take over.
Exactly.
Please.
Let somebody.
We got some great fucking new talent.
Cena's knocking on 40's door, but for 10 years he's been the face, and you know what? You can like him or not like him. He puts his ass out there.
Throw one of these NXT guys the fucking belt. Throw him a bone for
Finn fucking
a
Balor.
fucking month. For a month, dude. What is it going to do? A one time? Even if he doesn't touch that belt for the rest of his fucking career.
Kevin Owens would have been a great choice.
Yes. Any of these guys.
Ambrose would have been a great choice.
Fucking H. So, in lieu of this.
Here we go.
It's the final countdown.
You make me so mad, Triple H. So fucking selfish. Disgusting. My top 10 list this week is top 10 things more shocking than Triple H winning the WWE title again.
More shocking.
More shocking.
Making breakfast was more shocking than that. Come on. That's
my honorable mention.
Making breakfast was more shocking.
My honorable mention is Johnny Manziel is an idiot, by the way. There you go.
That's a shock.
That's a shock. Ready? Number 10. The word fuck isn't American. It actually stood for fornication under consent of the king.
Ooh.
And they actually believe it came from Germany, the word fuka.
Now, what I had always heard was that it meant for unlawful carnal knowledge. Thank you, Van Halen.
No, it was fornication under consent of the king.
And that would be the King of Kings, Triple H.
The King of Kings. Number 9. 420 is not police code for Mary Jane use, people. A San Rafael high school claimed the invention for it in 1971 when they saw a bunch of stoners continually going under this tree at the exact time of 420.
Wow. I always thought, and again, I'm probably going to have a comment for each of these. Someone had told me that was born out of the death of Jerry Garcia, who died at 4:20 p.m.
Yeah, see, there's all these little theories, but the biggest one...
It's also the day that Hitler died, April 20th.
Yep, the biggest one, obviously, is 420 has always been cop code for
No.
And that's bullshit.
No.
Number 8, Napoleon Bonaparte actually wasn't short. He was 5'7", people.
That's average.
That's average. That's not short. So how they depict him as this little 4'2", hey, I hate to break it to you.
They do. They really make him look diminutive with his little hand and thing. And
he's not. He was 5'7".
5'7" is average.
Yes.
I'm 5'10", and I consider myself short, but I'm not French.
Number 7, waking a sleepwalker doesn't actually hurt them. Maybe disorients them a little bit, but you will not fuck with their brain. They will not die. They won't
go into a stepbrother's
swing,
rage.
Right. They will not swing and destroy your face.
Hulk hands. I like it.
False.
Okay.
Number 6 of my top 10 things more shocking than Triple H winning the WWE title.
For the 14th time.
Again. Mm-hmm. Bulls actually are colorblind. They have no idea what the fuck that flag is. No idea that it's red. What gets them going is the aggressive stance taken by the Matador. Or Matador.
The Matador looks almost gay when he gets in that stance.
There you go. Get this gay thing away from me.
And I'm not disparaging gay people, but maybe bulls are homophobic.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey.
They're ragers. They're raging homophobics.
There's probably a reason why a lot of homosexuals are vegetarians, and that might be the reason.
This one I actually thought was really, really cool.
Go ahead.
Number 5. Humans actually have more than 5 senses. And some people are actually arguing up to 20. However, 9 definite. Touch, taste, sight, hear, smell is your first 5 that everybody knows.
The big 5.
People can also sense pain, hunger, thirst, pressure, acceleration, time, and balance. Meaning if you are in a room of complete darkness, you can sense that time has went by. You can sense if the actual thing is moving. Even though you can't see it, you can sense it. You can sense hunger. You can sense when you are going to be hungry. There's all these other ones.
There, yeah.
Right, exactly. There's all these other ones, so there is not just 5 senses. Humans utilize a lot more than that.
That's a good one.
Thank you. I liked it, too. That's why I said, see, it's informative.
You are working your ass off.
Number 4 of the shocking things, more shocking than Triple H winning the WWE title.
For the 70th time.
Again. Number 4, hair and nails actually don't continue to grow after you die. The skin around it shrinks, giving the illusion of growth.
Fantastic.
So you actually shrivel up.
We've been told that for years.
Exactly. See? This one is going to blow your mind, women. I know. Number 3, men do not think about sex every 7 seconds.
No, they don't.
They don't, okay? Maybe 15, 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? 7 seconds is a blatant lie. All right?
A woman wrote that. You got to know that. All they do is think about sex. Sex. Let me explain something, ladies. If I'm sitting in front of my Xbox or I'm reading a book or I'm doing anything, sex is the last thing on my mind. I am focused on the task at hand.
Exactly.
Believe me.
Especially if you're playing a game like that and it's fucking 3 hours into it. I ain't thinking about sex one time.
Do you think when Loki's welding, he's thinking about putting,
doing
tab A
the
slot B?
doing that,
No.
doing the naughty? No. Well, sometimes it is tab A and tab B.
A woman wrote that shit. Sorry, ladies.
Number 2, Washington did not have wooden teeth. Actually, his teeth were made out of gold, hippo ivory, lead, and human teeth.
Wow.
Yes. So that whole wooden teeth
We have
thing
been lied to.
is bullshit.
That was the beginning of the wussification of America. Don't lie to me about Washington's teeth. That means every report I wrote on Washington, I should have got an F. I should have got an F because I lied.
Exactly.
And I just had a conversation last night where I was like, no. I admit to my failures. And now I have to admit that.
Now you have to admit it.
Oh, motherfucker.
And the last one, numero uno, the top 10 reasons more shocking than Triple H's win again.
For the 97th time.
Like, stop, Triple H. Just stop. Even if the fucking Raiders go to Las Vegas, they will still suck. I know that's shocking.
Does that go for the Rams going back
Do
to
you
LA?
not feel sad for this team? Do they not have their little puppy dog eyes just looking for a place to live right now?
I think whether it was the preview or the review we did on the NFL, I keep pointing back to that end zone padding wall where it says commitment to excellence. I still question, what is your definition of excellence? Because, guys, Raider fan, if your commitment to excellence is fucking 4-12 every year, you need to find a new definition.
Yeah, please, because it's you guys have been horrible for a long time. And let's not forget what you're trying to bring to Las Vegas, by the way. A black hole, people. Mm-hmm. A black hole. These people, when they get out of the stadium, where are they going to go? Into the streets of Las Vegas, people. You are not doing yourselves any favors.
If you want to commit to excellence, and look, I'm the last guy as a football fan to talk about excellence because right now 7-9 is my benchmark, I guess. Look, your commitment to excellence, you should draft better, you should cultivate better, you should not be picking up cast-offs and trying to build a team. That's not how it works.
Exactly.
Get a commitment to fucking excellence.
That's exactly
Live
it,
by
dude.
your goddamn credo. Sorry about the GD, folks.
It's the fucking truth, though, man. You know it's the fucking truth. And
is.
people, like, it is, man. It is. And Triple H, you ruined it for us. You did. I'm sorry. Mad respect for you. Like we said before, your career is fantastic.
Hall of Fame. If you walked out tomorrow,
exactly.
he's Hall of Fame.
You can't take anything away from him. He is fucking that damn good.
You want to talk about reinvention? From Terror Rising to John Paul Levesque to Hunter Hearst Helmsley to DX Triple H to King of Kings Triple H
to the game.
And now the Authority with the short hair and the suit and tie. That's reinvention. But when does it stop? Dude, Garbage is a household name too, and it stinks when it gets old.
The thing that really bugged me the worst about the whole thing was they said, "Oh, he's nipping on the heels of Ric Flair."
Oh, man.
Why? Why?
Ego.
Why? And that's exactly it. Exactly. He wants to be the one that has that fucking...
But he's already in that conversation when people say Austin, Michaels, Flair, Triple H, Hogan. He's already
The Rock.
in The Rock, Dusty Rhodes,
He's
Bruno.
been through all of those fucking, all the things that freaking Raw went through, from the Attitude Era to the regular to the 90s.
The Monday Night War, all of it.
Exactly, dude. Just do us a favor and take that talent and put it into one of these new guys. That's all we want, man. That's what we want. And that's the whole theory of this show, is we are losing some great people and nobody is going to be up there and taking up their spot. And Triple H, you have a chance to actually take one of these people while you're around and bring them up and get them to where they are, but you're fucking selfish.
You know what? Always have been a huge Ric Flair fan, and the dude wrestled till he was, 107? It got old after a while.
Yeah.
I look at my boy Shawn Michaels, my opinion, the greatest worker that ever lived,
Fuck
who
yeah.
got out at 45 years old. New. Because if I'd have seen him out there shaking his ass at 55, it doesn't mean the same.
You don't want to see that shit?
No.
Nobody wants to see that.
I watched Jericho versus AJ Monday night, and here's, a 45-year-old man.
Great, though. They
it was
looked
fantastic. But
dude.
you can see age is catching up to Jericho a little bit. He's got a little bit of softness in the middle.
Yeah.
He might still have a six-pack of abs, but next to that six-pack is a little muffin top.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's still in great shape, but you know what? He's not out there on the top. He's helping a new guy, a 30-something-year-old, move up the ladder.
Exactly.
And not that AJ needs a lot of help,
Fuck
but
yes.
it's his
Fuck
first
yes.
time in the show. And let's be honest, the WWE is the show. He's helping this guy get over with the fans. If you don't already know who he is.
If you don't know...
AJ should have won that freaking belt.
I agree, dude.
Or Finn Balor. Just bring in Finn
some-
Balor.
Somebody besides this, and that's exactly what we're getting at.
Or the Portuguese Prince Mike... Oh, wait, that's a video game.
That's a video game. All right, guys. So thank you all very much for listening to us every single week. We appreciate it. We love you. Don't forget about Sully the Scully. Unfortunately, nobody got to win the NFL jerseys. It does not mean that somebody will not win this skull. It is a guarantee that somebody is going to win this skull. All you need to do is review. We have had some people actually do it recently. I want to thank you very much for taking your time to going out of your way and reviewing it. We understand that your time is very precious, but we also understand that for us to get better, to get this website going, to get everything that we want to go forward, we need those reviews.
Also have less than about a month. Well, because February's short, let's be honest. Tomorrow's the 31st. We have 29. You have 30 days to share the show. Get somebody to tell us.
Right now, the Bull Shark's taking that.
Blair Tugman right now is the king of coffee. He's going to have that $30 gift card in his hands. And
it'll work out because we need to get his autograph anyways on Sully the Scully. So.
Bingo.
I mean, if you guys just want to give up and give it to the man, we understand. But I would never give up on free $30 worth of Dunkin' Donuts goodness.
Because nobody won the jersey. Next week, I'm going to announce a contest that will tie into February very beautifully. I will come up with a time limit. It will be, once again, out of my pocket. The jersey was coming out of my pocket. I'm going to come up with a contest for you. I will come up with the parameters next Saturday at our new studio, yet to be named. I will have that information for you. We're going to have another contest. You're going to get some free shit, and I'll tell you how to get that free shit. Absolutely, guys. Like we say, please make sure you review us. Please make sure you like the show. And as always, guys, be safe. Have a great weekend. God bless the Palatial Studios, our last time within these four walls. We're going to miss you, man. Made some great dreams come true for us. Absolutely.